Hello everyone, this is Ellie of Herbcraft by Ellie Apothecary. Today I am introducing to most of you my weekly special collective message. It is called Tarot Moon Day. This is for the dates of April 7th to the 13th. Though you should know that all my messages are timeless, I will leave the playlist for all other timeless readings in the description box or at the end of this video, or both. This reading may help those looking for current energetic support on your individual timelines. I advise you to check out my Astro Highlights and Luna Notes video for more in-depth guidance for the month of April, or at whatever time you are listening to this recording. Feel free to check out my Astro Highlights series for monthly updates that can help you on your journey. I am a professional astrologer. I am a psychic medium. I am reading tarot and oracle for the collective, and I lead others on spiritual quests with my guidance that is channeled from spirit. I set the intention that all of these readings that I do reach exactly who it's supposed to at the right time, so know that if you are here, then this message is for you. As most readers will say, take what resonates and leave the rest behind. It being a collective and general message, sometimes there will be side messages and sometimes the entire thing will resonate with your spirit. As for the weekly oracle card, I will pin it as the thumbnail of this video, and I will also share it on my Pinterest and my Instagram stories. Both platform links can be found in my description box here or on my channel profile, along with the links to my booking site for personal readings, which as of this week are open for astrology, tarot, oracle, or psychic insight on your spiritual journey. I just want to thank everyone for hanging in there with introductions. This offering I have been doing since, I want to say fall of 2024. It started as a card pull for my Instagram followers in my stories, and then a couple months ago, I want to say the beginning of 2025, February maybe, I started graduating it to more extensive spiritual messages in my posts. So if you're interested in seeing other messages from the past that might resonate with you, please do follow my Instagram for more, or have fun browsing my Pinterest board. Anyways, I am uncertain if I'm going to continue this every week as I was doing before, or just when the energy calls for it. So if you like this idea, if you like weekly energy check-ins using oracle, tarot, and sometimes astrology, then please do leave a comment below. Perhaps leave a world emoji so I know it would mean the world to you, as it means the world to me to have your engagement and be a part of this community. And if this is the only time we meet, thank you so much. Know that I have a very laid-back style. I go in deep, and I'm very honest. I don't sugarcoat, but I'm also very kind and compassionate. So with all that said, again, thank you for liking, subscribing, commenting, sharing, if you choose to share these messages. I'd like to note one last thing and then we will begin. For those of you that are noise sensitive, the shuffling can be very apparent, so I recommend lowering the volume or listening without headphones. And for those of you that enjoy the card shuffling as an ASMR effect, well, keep the volume where it's at. Alright, I'm going to pull an oracle card from Kim Cran's Archetypes deck, and I'm going to do a channeled reading on it. And I may or may not pull a few tarot cards from my favorite collective deck I use, which is the Cosmic Tarot. If you're interested in what sound healing music I use in the background, check out my YouTube playlist for background music for readings. I also have a very lengthy community spotlight playlist called Sound Healing, which I use personally and in readings. It's just a bunch of different creators that I appreciate. Some of my playlists on my profile, as I'm shuffling here, I just felt the need to tell you, are community spotlight playlists. So in the future I will be creating a specific reader spotlight for other readers, because I do support others' work along with other astrologers. Alright, let's see what Spirit has for us. I have already set intentions. I have grounded, I've meditated. Everybody take a deep breath and let us ask Spirit, what do we need to know for this week of April or the time you are listening? By the way, I do also do filmed recordings and readings. It just depends on whatever is the most convenient for me at the time. Alright, so we pulled the Mountain card. I usually only pull one card, but I'm feeling like I should pull a second card here. We received the Mountain, I want to say, a couple months ago for Tarot Moon Day. And the Queen. The Mountain and the Queen. The number 33, 6, 3, 10, 11, and 2 may all be synchronistic numbers that don't necessarily confirm that this reading is for you, but to pay close attention to the messages. Shout out to Witch and Scythe Tarot. She's an amazing reader that I follow, and I really love, she terms that in that way for her videos, and I really resonate with that, so I'm starting to mention that as well, because I do pick up on signs and synchronicities. So the Mountain is a picture. By the way, most of these cards look like they are hand painted or watercolor. So they have this really beautiful watery blending colorful effect, and the mountain sky above this mountain, this black and white mountain, is deep greens, a medium blue, magenta, purple, and very soft edges of light green and light pink. This makes me think of heart to crown chakras, so 4th chakra heart and a combination of 5th chakra throat and 6th chakra third eye blending into 7th chakra crown. And next to the Queen, I'd say we are emphasizing more feminine energies. If you follow tarot, you know that we are talking about energies, not gender. That everyone has a balance, or can achieve balance, between masculine, feminine, and neutral energies. We've been talking about the divine feminine in the last reading I did for the collective, which I believe I published under Wheel of Fortune is the title of it, from, I want to say 4-4 or 4-5. Again, timeless readings, so just check out my playlist for more. But there might be something in there that resonates with you. We've also had a lot of emphasis on the Empress, and the Empress in the tarot is the divine feminine who has overcome many obstacles to be in a positive, secure place in life of nurturance, of love, of creativity, of abundance. And the Empress represents all four queens in the tarot: earth, air, fire, water, a balance of the energies of the elements. Going back to this mountain card, there's like a cutout box near the peak where it looks like a shadowy figure, and I'm sensing a masculine presence by the appearance, the form, and the energy is kind of standing there at the edge of this view. Looks like maybe a hideout within the mountain, and it's like this deep black box, and then yellow, golden, orange, red, almost like flame-like colors behind them. And it's like they've got one hand on their hip, kind of like just like, what's going on here? Looking out at this vast territory from inside the mountain. And below the mountain is a black silhouette of forest trees, very dense. And the Queen card looks like the outside rim. It's like this dark red with black, and it's almost like an iris, like an eye, the way it shoots out in depth and bright colors. Within that, it looks like a moon, but it's yellow like the sun. So that could represent both feminine and masculine energies combined. Above the moon, sitting on top, is an outstretched hand and a snake wrapped around it. And at the tail of the snake is a red gem, probably a ruby. And on the lower side of this, we'll call it solar moon, is a flower. I think it is supposed to be a lily or lotus blossom, and within it is what looks like a golden pearl. I'm just going to read into the energy for a moment here. For some reason, Kundalini energy just came out in the Queen card with the snake and the ruby and the root chakra and the solar and lunar energies, red representing the root chakra. It's actually interesting now that I think about it, with the combination of the upper chakra colors in the mountain and the lower chakra colors of red, orange, yellow in the Queen, there is a balance of an energetic system here between all chakras. And it's almost like the roles have reversed here, which can be how you establish balance between these divine feminine, masculine, and neutral energies. Because usually the masculine is more lower, 3D kind of chakras, like root chakra representing your security, your physical abundance, or your ability to stay grounded within life. Whereas the crown, the opposite, is the 5D. It's everything that is spiritual, that is psychic, that is intuitive, and usually is downloaded from source consciousness, from a higher power, whomever you celebrate and work with energetically. It seems like the queen is very like nestled in, kind of like the empress, like comfortable in this warmth and this glow, in this security. Whereas the masculine over here on the mountain card is still kind of trying to gauge these higher chakras, still very much in their lower chakras, because again, the person is standing in a silhouette and behind them are the lower chakra colors, the red, orange, yellows, kind of like, and then the mountain is separating between the colors of the higher chakras in the sky, and it's like this masculine energy is still very much contained within this solid force. So it's almost like it's being protected or divided from those upper chakra energies. And the lotus or lily blossom represents overcoming the depths of hell. As I cited this beautiful mantra the other day, no mud, no lotus. So coming up from murky waters, and synchronicity. The sound healing video I have on YouTube is a bright pink lotus flower, by the way. So lotus blossoms have been coming up in my reading a lot. It can represent a transformation and rising above all adversity and choosing to continue to grow towards something beautiful despite whatever used to pull you down in the muck, so to speak. And then on this card, there is what looks like, again, a golden pearl. Not just a pearl, but a golden pearl. That's like royal, spiritual colors. I don't know the symbolism of a golden pearl. If anybody knows, feel free to leave it in the comments. Or if you have any insights on this read of your own, I'd love to read about them. But pearls they're known as something that you can create a great abundance from, and they're usually connected to very deep, profound feminine energies. Cancer comes to mind as far as the zodiac sign because of the ocean, because of the deep feminine, also the moon. And up here, I mentioned that the hand with the snake and the red ruby clinging to the end of the tail. It's like it's almost like this feminine power has the force to yield awakenings to empower them while staying grounded and being a good blend of masculine and feminine principles. And Kundalini, I'm not an expert on it. If you are, feel free to share your wisdom in the comments. It's another form of a spiritual awakening, and I can't speak on it. I've had personally, I've felt the Kundalini energy, but my spiritual awakening was different, if that makes sense. So that might be relevant to somebody or somebody's. So this week it would be good for you to think about how to first balance your chakra system. I do have 1.5 hour guided meditation that takes you through grounding, centering, balancing, and chakra alignment all in one. You can find that in my guided meditations playlist. I also am picking up with the mountain card that in order to access these higher chakras, and that includes an open heart chakra, okay, because green is the heart chakra, so is pink. It's being open to receiving love, and it seems like there's some huge obstacle that is affecting your perspective, that is making the world below you seem very dense. very distant, very heavy in a way. Whereas you may feel like you are above it in some sense by holding on to these perspectives, you're actually being submerged by the weight of it. If you want to be free and you want to create, you have to find a way to balance these energies within yourself. And once you have that flow of that energetic frequency, you will be in a flow state to create using all energies available to you, dropping the stigmas, dropping the roles you think that you're supposed to have, possibly inherited by perceptions of your community, your family of origin, your upbringing in general. The snake also represents temptation, as we know biblically. And again, this is a non-denominational channel. I do have a pagan background, but I welcome everyone. I'm an animist, which means I believe spirit is in everything, and I believe that every spiritual belief is valid. Just a little disclaimer there. If you resonate, feel free to hit the like button. So, forbidden, and it's holding on to this root chakra. Maybe you feel like, for some others, maybe you feel like security is a foreign concept to you, yet you're holding on to it. And we know with the laws of manifestation that in order to receive your blessings, you have to release them to the divine. You have to surrender them in perfect love and perfect trust and focus on other things. So if you are trying to hold on to this concept of forbidden fruit, of this temptation of security, then you aren't actually able to access it. Therefore, you are suffocating it. Just like this masculine principle, so both feminine, masculine, it could go either way in any direction. You can block your way by holding on to energies that are no longer serving you. So this is the focus for the week. Perhaps do a journal about how you may be imbalanced in either a masculine or feminine sense. And again, energies. Masculine is active, feminine is receptive. So for masculine imbalances, look at how you are maybe trying to force things, which we talked about that in my 3-part readings that was 3 days apart, called Building Foundations 1, 2, and 3. I highly recommend, especially people who are having trouble with balancing their masculine and feminine sides. That's a more collective energy that I've been reading on. And it has to do with spiritual awakenings, as well as a lot of my work seems to involve that as a guide. So just look at these energies within yourself. A good journal prompt again is, how am I in imbalance in my masculine feminine side? Or how am I so neutral that I am blending in between the lines of these energies and not forming fully the balance within myself in our society? I think I will pull some cards from the Cosmic Tarot. Again, at this point of the reading, if you are sensitive to sound, you may want to lower the volume or take off headphones. Alright, Spirit, for this message, specifically for April 7th to 13th, 2025, or anybody at any time in a way that can benefit the collective. Do one more shuffle. Want to ask if there's any advice that Spirit can give as far as these principles, how to integrate. Interesting. Well, that's appropriate. We pulled the Moon card, which is the divine feminine and also represents Cancer. And earlier in this recording, I mentioned the golden pearl making me think of Cancer, and also the blend of the sun and the moon and feminine principles. The Moon card also represents that which is hidden, your subconscious, your emotions. It's represented also by Pisces in the tarot traditionally. So both water energies. Get another card on this, Spirit. The Seven of Wands. That's a very masculine energy for sure. It's giving me Leo vibes with the sun reference we have also in the Queen card and the masculine principles. One more card. Six of Cups in reverse. Six of Cups can represent either a relationship or aspect of yourself from the past. It can represent your inner child, childhood, nostalgia, a balanced, deep love, soulmate connection, usually someone that has past life ties, or again, somebody from your earlier days. I always read out every card for those of you that are listening in and do your own readings, or you are a novice tarot reader for yourself or others. I thought you would appreciate that, so you're not missing anything. I like to read between the lines of other people's readings as well, so I also do that for those that are listening to descriptive language. That's another reason I go in depth in describing the cards, is to create a more visual experience for those that cannot see. I like to enhance your imagination as well. I talked about that, I believe, in the Wheel of Fortune video. So, the Moon, the Seven of Wands, and Six of Cups in reverse. This is telling me deep emotions, being defensive, fighting off, possibly people from your past. You get clarification on Six of Cups reverse. The Wheel of Fortune. So this is cycles, this is karma, this is fortune, this is also karmic lessons. Queen of Wands in reverse on top of the Wheel of Fortune. I feel like something that has been very disempowering to you on your journey, that is a karmic cycle, which is ready to be moved so you can step into good fortune. This is of nostalgia, of people of the past, and nostalgia isn't always good. Remember that sometimes being stuck in nostalgia means you're not in the present moment, or you're romanticizing toxic behavior because it's what you're comfortable with. And the Queen of Wands in reverse very much can represent a toxic, angry, vindictive, harmful person or energy could represent an aspect of yourself. The Magician just came out. This is all about having every element available to you to create your own reality, being able to see from a higher perspective. And it's also, for those of you that don't know, the divine counterpart to the High Priestess card. Okay? It's like it represents a higher union on a spiritual sense. And I've said this in my other videos, I do not typically do love readings, but if the energy comes out, I've decided that I will read on it, but I don't get into toxic cycles or try to invade anybody's energy by tapping into it in a toxic way. So if you're looking for insight on the person you like, there are so many other readers out there for you. This is more about soul growth on my channel. And I appreciate everybody who appreciates that depth. So the Magician is all about creating your own reality, about manifesting your desires. Being able to execute your vision. Ooh, and then I pull the Hermit card. And this is about going inward. It's about spiritual truths and unveiling knowledge. It's about obviously stepping away from the world, as we know. But the Hermit holds the knowledge that can help you on your journey in order to shine your light, because in the lantern of the Hermit, which is depicted typically, is the star, which is the star card, and the star represents healing and being seen. So in order to achieve that, you have to go inward. It's also might be good to look at what has been of service to you and what hasn't in order to manifest your desires. And wow, I just got chills. I just pulled the star card in reverse. That can be a delayed wish fulfillment because the star also represents wishes coming true. It can also mean a lack of healing or healing that needs to be done. So definitely focus on going inward. Meditation is great for that. Grateful for that. Sometimes words get mixed up because Spirit's channeling through me, so I apologize if I stumble over my words. Also, at the day of doing this video, Mercury is direct, but we always have that 10-day shadow phase, so don't forget we aren't quite in the clear yet. You can learn more about the transits in my Astro Highlights video for April, or other Astro Highlights videos if you're catching this later. I would like to get another card on the Seven of Wands to find out more about what it is that you are fighting off. Because this card is, it can also show somebody who has acuity, who has physical strength, who has the ability to fight things off. And usually it means there's a lot of people coming at you. It's like the beginning of a battle. So this could be a beginning of a battle for you, is discovering how to balance these energies, or it could represent a block. Either you blocking other people or blocking yourself. Let's see. Yeah, blocking yourself. The Emperor in reverse. So that's not feeling like you have your own authority. Not feeling like you can rule your life. Be the master of your own domain, which means you certainly can't manifest. So healing is advisable, maybe focusing on where you are putting up unnecessary boundaries. And I am in no way encouraging people to not have boundaries. I definitely believe in strong boundaries, but sometimes you need to look at where you become stubborn or rigid, and maybe even toxic with the Emperor in reverse, to where your boundaries are keeping you from being able to. Your defenses are keeping you. And that can be a very masculine energy where you are trying to fight things off. With the Six of Cups in reverse, and this we're going to get into more of the mental, emotional here for a second, so bear with me. I am an advocate as well. If you don't like that, then I thank you for visiting and have a great day. So here we are with the defenses, with the emotions, with feeling like your own authority, and then we go over here to the Six of Cups in reverse, and I'll remind you, underneath the Six of Cups we pulled the Wheel upright, Queen of Wands in reverse, the Magician upright, Hermit upright, and the Star in reverse. So that can be representative of being stuck in traumatic cycles, emotional dysregulation. I definitely recommend you seek medical or mental health treatment if you feel like you need it. Standard disclaimer, I am not a medical or mental health professional, but I am an advocate. So I'm well informed and I do know what I'm talking about. So perhaps you need to focus on how you can receive the help you need and the healing in order to feel like you can control your own environment and be the person, the moon card over here, this receiving, nurturing feminine energy. I definitely am sensing an imbalance in the masculine in this reading, so that might apply to some people. And it doesn't matter if you identify as a quote-unquote man or woman or non-binary person or genderqueer. It's about energetic imbalances. And again, going back to the chakras, perhaps meditating, learning about chakra alignment, and now looking into possible traumas or way of life that were hindering you from your childhood. So looking at family systems, family patterns. There's a lot of great YouTube content out there. I have listed a couple of resources in my advocacy playlist. I won't do that here because I want to move forward. So yeah, it really seems like this is where we are at here. Pull one more card. On the moon card, we have Eight of Swords in reverse. So Eight of Swords is about being stuck in your head, creating your own mental prison, overthinking things, getting lost in anxiety. Again, with trauma, there can be cycles that you go in and out of when you are dysregulated. And dysregulation is not just emotional. If you have a chronic traumatic disorder like complex post-traumatic stress disorder, you can become neurologically different over time, because complex is chronic. That means you've experienced it most of your life or from your childhood, in your early development, therefore causing neurological changes in your brain. And the emotional dysregulation usually comes from family systems and behavior you have learned. That is totally workable. Again, I think it was Building Foundations 3, I gave a bunch of really great resources at the end of that video, so definitely check that out. Again, I will link playlists in the description box and put some videos at the end of this. So, being in reverse, the Eight of Swords is telling me that you might be learning how to overcome your anxieties and fears and see where maybe they were irrational, looking at your patterns, working on keeping yourself grounded and centered. So pretty much regulation, okay? And regulation is not bad when it comes to your nervous system. Just listening to sound videos like what I have on right now can actually regulate your nervous system. And there's even a few creators out there that do specifically meditations for the nervous system, sound healing. And I definitely suggest you check out that. And also know that parasympathetic nervous system is different to the sympathetic nervous system. So make sure whoever you're listening to knows what they're offering and not just using catching titles. And a good way to do this is to check out their description box. I'm all about advocating for people and spreading wisdom, so I do hope that you like this style, and I hope that this reading has served you well. I think I'm going to pretty much conclude it here. It's just about getting out of your head. It's about focusing on where you are blocking yourself with defenses and getting lost in nostalgia or cycles of emotional nature. By the way, the best way to overcome that is through mindfulness. It can take a while for your brain to adapt to a mindfulness practice, but the whole point of it is it brings you into the present moment. You recognize the behavior, you're able to talk yourself through the behavior, and you're able to develop new thoughts, and over time, it can actually rewire your neurological functioning. I am actually a success story of this, and I do go into it, and I will be speaking more on it as I am writing my story into a book. So again, thank you everyone who has shown up today, and if you like this, and if you made it to the end, leave me a rainbow emoji in the comments. Thank you for being a part of my budding community, and if you're catching this way later, thank you for taking the time to check out my old work. Many blessings to you, and have a wonderful week. This is Ellie, signing off.